feel like it's gotten progressively harder to have a conversation with somebody, and which can be frustrating because personally I think I'm a friendly person. um I try to talk to a lot of people. I just like to have conversations with people, and I like to, I don't know, it's very interesting. Like having conversations with people is like one of the best parts of my days. I like, like some of the best things about life, or at least this is a part of mine, is having conversations with those, random old people on the street, or, just someone, while you're taking public transportation or whatever, you run into somebody, or you give someone a compliment, or you see someone outside wearing the same pair of shoes you're wearing, or same something, and, oh my gosh, like, great minds think alike, whatever. Like, just those little interactions with people, those conversations, whatever. But I've noticed that a lot of the times I try to have a conversation with people, like, no one really knows how to have a conversation anymore, and I'm pissed off about it. I genuinely hate it. It is so annoying. Everyone has the same humor. Like, we used to be individuals. We used to have individuality to us, and now we are all the same. We are all replicas. I don't know how to. Of course, there's trends. There's going to be trends that are going to be followed or whatever. And I'm not even talking about clothes, whatever. There's always going to be slang or whatever. But, I mean, everyone talks the same. Everyone references whatever bullshit is on TikTok, whatever is going on social media. That's all people bond about. And then even people that, when I had social media, I still encounter this issue of when I would talk to somebody, it was like, I watched a video on this same topic from someone, the Zurkie Show, Zurkie, the Zurkie Show. I reckon that he has good stuff too. I like his videos. But whatever, he was talking about, it's like, you're throwing out, like, you're trying to throw something out, like a topic, whatever, like, you're almost like you're trying to, like, save somebody, like, on a lifeboat or whatever. You're throwing out something for someone to grab on, and they just shoo it away. Or no, what is it? What did he refer to it? As it's like, if they just catch it. If you throw something at someone and they catch it and they don't throw it back, whatever, something like that. And I was like, that's like a really good analogy, because, if you're having a conversation with someone, it's like, oh, what's your favorite color? And they're just like, blue. I'm not saying that's what I have conversations about. Like, probably like, wow, like, no wonder no one wants to have a conversation with you if all you're asking is what's your favorite color. But as an example, basically, or just like, like, oh, where do you go to school? What do you want to do? Like, what plans? Because, with conversation, everyone, it's like a dance, or like, you just feel how it's going, and like, I don't care if you have like no conversation. Even someone with like very little conversation skills would be able to, like, I don't know what's happening, if like we're starting to lack empathy or what's going on, or even like lacking, like, I'm asking you, I'm having a conversation with you because I want to talk to you and I care. But it's almost like everyone wants to have a conversation only to talk about themselves, or literally they don't want to have a fun conversation with you. They just want to like be on their phones while you're talking, or like, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are on their phones while I'm talking to them. I cannot stand that. It genuinely makes me so angry. I swear this entire video is just gonna be me ranting and being angry about people not having conversations, so whatever. But it's so frustrating when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and all they want to say is yeah, yeah. Or if you're asking them questions to get to know them, and they only answer the questions, they don't ask it back. And it's like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, this person doesn't care about me, like, I'm like testing them or whatever. But like, it is a part of like having conversation, is like, okay, so you can't even like pretend that you care. Like, I don't understand, like, and like, I feel like this all ties into social media, but then I hate saying like, oh, bad social media, whatever. I don't like social media whatsoever. Ironically, I'm posting this on YouTube, but I don't really consider YouTube that much as a social media. Like, it is, but it isn't at the same time. But whenever I say things, like negative things about social media, I feel like people are like looking at me like I think I'm so different. And I've actually been judged for thinking that because I've had experience where I've done a lot better than a lot of people, and I know I sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but in high school, I was never like outperforming people in grades wise, but because of my childhood, I had to grow up very quickly, and I was far more independent than people my age when I was in high school. And like that was like, of course there's going to be insecurity when dealing with me because when I was 15, 16 years old, I sounded like I was 21, like 20 years old. And I'm not saying like I was like extremely promiscuous or anything like that. I mean just the real world experiences that I had at a young age, like it aged me, and I still think that I feel older than I actually am now. And when I'm around people my age, like whatever college age, I feel like I'm an old lady. But besides the point. Anyway, I never want to say like, oh, I'm growing up, like I'm so grown, like I'm way more grown. Like I don't say it in a way of like, oh, I'm so much better than you, but I say it in a type of, and also like I feel like there's also a negative stigma when I say that I just act more grown than people my age. There's negative stigma that like sounds like I'm trying to be fast, or like I'm promiscuous, or like extremely promiscuous or whatever. But it's all in the fact like I have a lot of real world experiences. I had to manage my mother's finances from a very young age. Like I had things like that going on. So when I was in high school, a lot of people felt very, they didn't like, I was like out, like when I say I was just ahead, or not ahead, but like we're not ahead of any, like I'm not ahead, but it's just like just different. I was just different, and people took it as I thought I was better than them. So I say this because I kind of go on a whole tangent, but whatever. I say this because I don't want it to be like a whole thing of like, oh, I think I'm better than you, of like when I say, oh, I don't have social media, because that's how it's always been perceived. I hate that. But I genuinely have this hatred for social media because I don't understand how as a society we've completely like just closed our eyes, that we don't realize that we are becoming slaves to the machine. Again, sounds incredibly cliche, and my mom used to tell me this when I was young. Like when social media really started to take off, she would always tell me that it's the devil and whatever, like I should not be on social media. Like this is what all your freaking grandparents would be saying about social media, whatever, and you're like, yeah, grandma, whatever. And then now I'm starting to realize, like, I deleted social media. All of social media, I haven't had TikTok in a very long time. I deleted it my freshman year of high school, and I do Depop on the side. I've taken a break for the time being, but I would use TikTok. I like re-downloaded it later on to promote. But that's the only reason why I had it. I never scrolled on it. I deleted TikTok about freshman year of high school, yeah. So it's been a while, years. I haven't had TikTok in years, really. And then I had Instagram for a while, and I never really was into Snapchat. So I had Instagram for a while, and I recently just deleted, like Instagram was like my last social media that I had. I deleted it, and I feel like I'm going on a tangent. It started off as like me trying to rant about conversations, but it's mainly just like a whole thing about social media, whatever, I don't know, whatever it turns into, whatever. So social media, I genuinely cannot stand it, because what I realized is that everything on social media is just to, anything you post, even your profile picture, down to your username, whatever, you are trying to present yourself in a certain way, or like an image. It's an image that you're trying to portray, and no matter how you do it, it's always going to be fake. It's always never going to be real. It's never going to be truly you. And everything, and also like we are scientifically, we yearn for validation, and this is just the social aspect of social media, especially like Instagram. When we post things, like there's like kind of like two aspects of things that we consume and things that we post. And what I'm talking about right now is posting, and I'll get into consuming in a minute. But what we post, I noticed, like, I follow all these people from high school that I don't even really mess with, like people that I don't have anything against, but whatever, like we're all trying to move on with our lives. We don't need to all be attached to each other on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I'm trying to move on with my life. And everything that I post, no matter what it is, it's all for some image. It's all for something. It's all, we have to get the perfect angle. I can't post a shitty picture of myself. But if I do, I had a spam account as well. It was all like I caught myself taking pictures of random shit in my life, for it to be kind of like comedic or like funny, like like on my spam account, when I would do my dumps. And like I realized, I was like, I am literally a fucking slave to the machine. Like I am taking, like the first thought I see when I see like a funny sign is to take out my phone and post it on Instagram, or just something that's obscure, or I take an interesting a funny selfie or a funny picture of my friend. I have to post it on the spam account. I have to, like, I realized, like, literally my thoughts, like every time I would have a thought about anything that was like I just wanted someone to know about it, I would hop on the spam account and I would post myself talking about it. And I got, I'm doing that kind of now, where I'm talking about, but I don't mean thoughts like this. I started this channel actually because I continued to do that so much, where I would just like pick up my phone and I would just start talking into like my Instagram, and I knew no one was like actually listening, and I was like, you know what, I like to talk, I talk about things all the time, I have all these views, like I'm gonna share them. But besides the point, why was it that like the first thing I would literally have any thought, like let's say genuinely something incredibly random, like oh my gosh, like, or just a scenario, like oh my gosh, someone just cut me off in traffic, or oh this guy, like I have a really random interaction with a guy, or with some lady in a store, or oh it's so embarrassing, anything that happened to me that I was like, oh wow, I had to put it on social media, I had to put it on Instagram. Like everything down to just everything that I posted, anything on my account, anything, just having you as your profile picture is you, like you trying to pick the best one, is you just trying to put up an image. And I'm not saying, don't take pretty pictures of yourself or whatever, don't put that on your, I'm just saying, like, that is still you trying to portray an image, no matter how you look at it. And there's no way to avoid being not authentic on social media. And I realized, like, I pride myself on being an authentic, honest person. And there's absolutely no way you can be authentic or honest or just authentic on social media. And then I started to think about that aspect. And then what I think about is the consuming. Oh yeah, also just, okay, I want to get into that. We all have this instinct, like we want attention. It is just a part of us. We want attention more or less than others, but whatever. Like Instagram, without me even realizing it, I was checking the amount of likes I got when I realized, like, literally does not matter at all. Like it is a number on a screen. Like the validation, like no matter what way you look at it, like, or even if you're trying to be like, oh, it's not gonna get to me, whatever, there's always gonna be a part of you, because we crave validation. Someone's always gonna, someone from your high school is always gonna have more followers than you, because more people fuck with them from high school than they fuck with you, or more people like this post over this one, and that one was of you, it was with a friend, and then this one, the one that I was less liked, how it was me in a bikini and whatever, so I'm fat. I don't know, like there's something like that. Like it's just, I found myself making really unnecessary like observations about fake shit, about things that numbers that literally, like, who cares? I literally realize, I tell everyone that I really don't mind being alone. I actually like to be alone. I don't mind not having a lot of friends, I pride myself on that. I've been a freaking fake, and I literally, like, I don't like it. I realize, like, you can feel it when you're going into consuming. You can feel when you're scrolling, like how your brain hurts, like how your eyes feel after like scrolling for so long. And I get why we do it. You know, I literally like wrote something in my notes up because I was like, okay, I cracked the code. I mean, like, it's not like anything revolutionary, but the reason why we consume, of course, it's for like the dopamine hit, whatever. But a lot of us, like, I realized I was like, I don't like to scroll. Like, I was like, why do I scroll when I fucking hate my phone? Like, I hate being on my phone. I hate scrolling. I hate being a slave to the machine. I was like, but why can't I just stop? Like, what's keeping me here, right? Because I get, you know, dopamine hits, but I get dopamine other places, and I have ADHD. Okay, and when I say, I know everyone's like, oh, everyone has a little bit of ADHD. Okay, no, I like am prescribed medication for it. Like, I've had severe ADHD since I was a child. Like, since I was popped out of the womb. Like, trust, I have severe ADHD. And, you know, of course, with ADHD, you crave dopamine, you crave those dopamine hits, whatever. I keep saying whatever. Whatever. Anyway, that really wasn't it. Like, I can get dopamine by watching TV. Like, I can get dopamine by shopping, which I don't condone, but I can get dopamine by reading a book. I can get dopamine by literally doing anything I enjoy, right? Why is it that I choose my phone over things that I enjoy doing? And the reason is because I've also struggled with depression for many years, since I was even conscious, since I could ever remember. I struggled with depression through late childhood, like 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know, going in that. So when your brain is strained, I don't know, like I noticed like after like a long day, all I wanted to do, and I'm getting a little personal here, like not like crazy, but like whatever. All I wanted to do, like especially after a long day at school, I would come home and I wanted to lay on my couch in my pajamas and eat a bunch of food and just scroll on Instagram for 3 hours, 4 hours even. And then I would get to the point where I was like, I realized I was like, what's the problem? What's the problem? This has always been my problem, right? And I like got to this point where, you know, that was before I got diagnosed with ADHD. I've always had ADHD. I got diagnosed. Like, I was like, what really drew me towards me really wanting a diagnosis was to be treated. And because I hated that I did that. And I hated that I like just came home and I just rotted for 4 to 5 hours even, whatever. And as a high school student, I was running behind my work. I couldn't focus properly because of how much time I was spending on my phone. And I couldn't, but then this time, like, I literally, like, I could not do anything else. I was so tired, all I could do was that. So that's why I was like, oh, it's my ADHD, I need to get diagnosed. So I got diagnosed, and I got treated. I have medication now, but I still found myself in that same cycle, and it got a little better, but it still would happen. And I was like, why? Like, I'm still wasting my time, I'm still on my ass, I'm still, like, just looking at my phone, whatever. And then also it didn't help with my depression, you know, like with the validation and whatever. I was like, why am I doing this? Because it's not like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's out of my hands. Like, of course I'm choosing to do it, but it's because I was so exhausted after this day, whatever, like, of just my brain, just, I couldn't do anything else. And like, everyone says like scrolling, like, it's mindless scrolling. I started to really think. I was like, huh. I realized in these moments, when our brains are so strained, the reason why, besides dopamine, scrolling is so appealing is because it's almost like you're able to take your brain off and hand it to somebody other than you, and it's like they're babysitting it for you. So when it's just become so much to have your brain on your shoulders, on your head, whatever, it's so much, you have this ability to take it out, and give it to somebody, and they can babysit it for you. That's how I see it. And I realized also that makes a lot of sense on why I just couldn't let it go. Because it is so hard to live in your brain all the time. when after long days it is so hard to come home and not, like, you don't want to sleep because you're not, I mean, maybe that's for me at least. I didn't want to sleep immediately because I needed time. Like, my brain just needed to think, and it needed time alone. It needed time to decompress. And because decompressing is hard, I'm sorry, decompressing is hard. To be with your thoughts is hard. But we kind of forget that we did it before. There was a time where we didn't have phones, and we didn't even have TVs, and we didn't have any kind of digital entertainment, and we just had ourselves. And even when we did have digital entertainment, it was like little video games or, TV, whatever. But this is so mindless because this system is built to just feed you whatever, like, it can do whatever it wants. It's babysitting your brain for you. It can feed it whatever it wants because you're not watching it. You're not looking after it. It's holding on to it for you. And my observation was, or just like what I kind of concluded was, is this really who we want babysitting our children, our brain? Do we really want this algorithm to be babysitting our brains? This is like one of the most important organs we have. I mean, all of our organs are important, but this is how we make all our decisions. This is how we determine who to date. This is how we determine who to, again, mate with to have children. This is how we decide what we want to do for the rest of our lives. What major we want to go in, what job we want, our priorities, our morals, our manners, everything is up here. Every habit that we have is up here. Everything is in our brains. Our brains send signals to other parts of our bodies to do things. Our brains are so important. So important. One of your most important organs. Here you go. You can have it. Do whatever you want. Oh. And I was like, damn. I don't want Mark Zuckerberg babysitting my brain. No, I'm not, no. Or whatever, the TikTok owner. And that is why we can't have conversations. Because we're taking our brains out and leaving them with this person, and when we take them back and put them back in, we have all this new stuff in it. Whatever. We just have all of this. We never even chose to learn. We never even chose to consume. We don't choose what comes up. It decides for you. And that sickens me. It sickens me. Because I've always been known, I am a stickler for being in control. I'm a control freak, okay? It pissed me off when I realized, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm literally letting someone else have control. Not even someone else, a system that is also designed to steal your attention, to steal your time. It is literally made to steal your time. Time that you could be using, not even to be productive. Screw that work that I was supposed to be doing in high school. I could have gone, I had terrible attendance in high school too. So with that terrible attendance, if I just got off my ass and I just ignored the work that I had to do, like I already did, I did my work for the most part. I was a decent student. I get depressed, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. I could have gone on vacation. I could have went outside, and I didn't want to go on walks because I live in Florida, it's hot. But I could have done anything else. I literally could have, I could have made my own, I could have gone to a pottery class, okay? I could have learned how to make a cell phone from scratch. I don't know, that's ironic. I don't know, I could have learned anything I wanted to learn. I could have done anything I wanted to do. I could have done anything that I wanted to do. But I chose to give my brain away and waste all those hours of my life, 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, almost like 100 hours a month, thousands of hours a year, right? all that time could have been used for something else. I don't even mean anything productive. Because I feel like in life, like now, it's so popularized to be in this like hustle mindset or whatever. And I used to have that mindset. Like in my other videos, I've been like, oh, I love money, I love money. And now I'm kind of like, damn, I don't really care. I don't need money. I mean, that sounds privileged, but I'm saying like, we don't need materialistic things to be happy. We don't need all this stuff. Like, we don't need to be grinding. We don't need to be making, millions of dollars a year. Of course, it's nice. But then it's also nice just because what? Because so you have financial security. So you don't have to worry about becoming homeless or whatever. All of us, most of us, choose our majors, choose our jobs, choose whatever, based on how much money we can make. I feel like we forgot the purpose of life, and I think social media has made us been the main culprit of that. No one has passion anymore. No one cares. Of course, social media can be good in some aspects where, you can share your passion. But the thing is, no one has passion anymore. No one cares about anything anymore. No one cares enough to even have a conversation with you. No one cares about anything. Everyone is a slave. Everyone's on their phones all the time. I hate it. I hate it. It is ridiculous. And then when you talk, like, everyone's gotten dumber. Everyone's gotten stupid. So stupid. No one cares about the world anymore. No one cares about where it's going. No one cares about anything. All they care about is more screen time, more money, more whatever, or just looking the ideal way. Everything's a trend. Everything is being told to us. Everything is being told to us. What we should do, what we should major in, what we should dress, how we should dress, what we should read, what we should do. Everything is being told to us. If people even read, what we should read. No one even reads. There's adults that haven't even read a single book. My dad, for example, he's never read a book in his life. And he's 53 years old. And when maybe you're like, oh, Sarah, that's your dad, so whatever. But it's true, a lot of people don't read. A lot of people have never read books just out of, I don't want to read. What is going on? Because I get, social media is fun, or you can go see what your friends are doing, whatever. Why are we so public? Why have we lost the want to stay private? Because I realized that even with social media, even though I didn't share too much about my personal life, it was still way too much. Why are you seeing me like almost every day on Instagram? Because I'm posting. You should not be seeing me every day, almost every day, whatever. You should not be seeing me. Why? Like, I just. I'm trying to like compose myself to kind of like make final thoughts, but I'm just like flabbergasted thinking about the fact that we're all told basically what to do, what to consume, because also I've noticed in the last 10 years, since social media has been produced, fast fashion has made an uprising. Of course, it kind of started like the early 2000s, I believe. I watched like a video on it. I watched a video on it, so I know everything about it. But whatever. But the way how it got to the point of now, where, with Shein and all that stuff, there was obviously clothes that were mass produced, that were trendy in the early 2000s, which is when it kind of became a thing. But when we look further back, like into like, the 80s, 70s, 60s, clothes were made, I forget, I think it was like every season, or like maybe even once a year. that stores would roll out with new clothes and new styles and stuff like that. I think it was every season. And they were made with love. They were made with like quality. You know, there's garments of clothes that still exist from then that I have in my closet. I have clothes that are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old in my closet. And I love them all equally, but whatever. Basically, all those clothes were made with the intent of lasting. And now, I know I'm going on a tangent. It's all related to social media, though, I swear. Those clothes are all... What am I talking about? Those clothes were made with the intent of lasting. Now, it is... New styles are rolled out every day on Shein. It's like over 2,000 or something like that. It's all become money. Everything's for money. We are advertised to about 3,000 times in a day, 3,000 to 5,000 times in a day. When I first heard that, I did not believe it. I was like, "There's no way, no way in hell I'm receiving 3,000 advertisements a day," because I don't know. I think maybe like 100, if that. No, it's everywhere. You don't even realize it. Everything, every advertisement. Also, that's why I deleted TikTok originally years ago, because it was ad slop. That TikTok shop shit, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I hated it, and I deleted it. And with Instagram, just all these videos about you gotta run to this place, you gotta run here, you gotta run there to get the hottest new shirt, to get the hottest new clothes, the hottest new fall clothes, the hottest new whatever. Like, why can't we just exist? I don't want to buy your bullshit. I don't want to buy more clothes. I don't want to buy, I want to buy more clothes, but I have an addiction to the thrift store, but whatever. No, I'm trying to chill on that, but whatever. Anyway, I don't want to buy anything else. I'm tired of it. Clothes. They're being made so quickly now, and the fast fashion has become so normal now because of all these trends and they're able to consistently come out with these clothes, not because we're making the trends, man, they're making the trends. They're making this shit come back. They're the ones doing this. Again, they're taking your brain, giving it to someone else, and they decide what pops up on that feed, what is given to this brain. So they're gonna make sure that they can squeeze every dollar out of your pockets as possible, because this controls everything you do. It's like that SpongeBob episode when Plankton gets into SpongeBob's brain. Starts operating him. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. You're fed all these, and they can do as many trends as they want and say different things are cute and whatever, because they know you'll buy it, because they know, for that time that you're not watching after your brain, they can tell your brain to buy it, and the brain's gonna run back to you and get back in here and be like, yeah, we should buy that. It's all for money. We don't need all this shit. Like, I noticed that trends used to come in decades. Now they come by almost by yearly. Maybe even more frequently than that. Every 6 months, there's something new. Every year, there's something new. I can't stand going into these stores now. I don't go to the mall. And I go to the mall to get my steps in. But all the clothes, the stores, I've been using this app called Index, and you can post all your pictures of your clothes and stuff, so you can make outfits, and it promotes sustainability. And you can put where each piece is from. I have 75 to 80% of my wardrobe is thrifted or secondhand, because I really just don't like to buy anything new. But it's mainly because everything in the stores now is all the same. Everyone's the same. Everyone talks the same. Everyone's the same. And it all ties back to no one has originality. No one knows how to have a conversation. No one's really paying attention in school anymore, because they all have their phones, and no one wants to have broad vocabulary. No one wants to learn. No one, like, our phones are making us so stupid, and we don't even realize it, and we all know it's bad for us. And I know that, and I realize now the reason why we continue to do it, because I knew in high school, every day when I came home and I wasn't doing my homework and I was on Instagram, I knew it was bad for me, but I didn't know why. Now I do. And of course we know why, but we don't really know why. I mean, if you are okay with, there's some people that are okay with people, with someone making every decision for them. People that can't think for themselves. Social media is great for them. But I feel like social media is genuinely harmful to every part, everything. Our environment, just us. We are not made, we were never supposed to have so much information at the touch of our hand with cell phones in general. But with social media, you're able to see everything about everyone. You're able to see people on there every day. It's not even real. Those people aren't actually in front of you, aren't there. And we search for validation, and our attention spans are now garbage. No one can focus on anything anymore. And it's frustrating. It is so frustrating. Because did you even notice that the jokes on TikTok aren't even funny? They're just funny because they told you it was. I mean, some of them are funny, okay? I'm not gonna lie. There's some funny things on there. I'm not gonna lie. But whatever, like 6'7" isn't even funny. I still reference it. I think it's funny because I made it funny. It's not even a thing anymore. But I still laugh. But if you really think about it, like, who told you 6'7" was funny? It was never funny. It's only funny because TikTok or whatever said it was. And then everyone around you was saying it was funny. So now it's funny. Most memes are all just, especially like the Epstein memes and the Kirk memes and whatever. Those were all made from the government. I know I sound like some crazy ass conspiracy theorist, whatever. I don't care. Those were all just made so you could desensitize you about their deaths. Like deaths with the Epstein deaths. But anyway, it's all orchestrated. It's like a puppet show, a really messed up puppet show. And I got off of it because it was scary. It was scary knowing that I was leaving my brain unattended and all this stuff was being fed to me that I didn't know. And I hate it so much, and I hate how it's become such a vital aspect of our lives to be on social media or to be a slave to a machine. I can sit in silence for hours. I'm talking on my phone for 40 minutes now. But a lot of people can't. They can't be alone with their thoughts. They can't be talking. They can't have conversations. They can't think for themselves. We've all been told. We reach for the phone to tell us. And I just got tired of that. So I really just want to know, do you want to be a slave to the machine? Is that what you want? If you do, then stay on social media. But you gotta face the fact that, it's not good for us. And after I deleted social media, let me talk about that for a minute. After I deleted it, it's been about a month that I've had no social media. But I don't consider YouTube or Pinterest social media. So take that as you will. But it's mainly, like, I don't have, like, a Pinterest problem. You know, like, it doesn't really provide that kind of, like, it's just pictures. Like, I'll look at it, you know, for tattoos or, you know, things, you know, creative things. Or then YouTube, I watch videos, I watch documentaries. Sometimes I get sucked into the shorts for like 5 minutes, and then they're all boring because they're all like clips of like George Lopez, so I'll just like click off of them. But I don't really consider YouTube social media because I usually use it to watch like documentaries or stuff about being healthy. I know, whatever, I'm boring. And the occasional Danny Gonzalez video. So that's what I consider not social media, but that's what I still have. So after a whole month of not having TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, I never used Snapchat, so that wasn't really a problem, but Snapchat, all the other social medias, I cannot even describe to you how much it's changed my life. I made more progress in therapy in the last month than in the last, probably, like, 2 years. Thank you to my therapist, but also, I was never alone with my thoughts. I didn't have any time, or any whatever, just any time to myself, or whatever, time of silence, which is when the thoughts come. And I was never able to make developments about my life or whatever, just that things I need to talk about in therapy until I deleted social media. I finally had all this time to think. I started actually going to the gym consistently. I always was a gym goer, but never frequently. And I lost 5 pounds this month, August, I lost 5 pounds. I already lost 80 pounds, bruh, but like, now it's below 75, now it's 80. But I actually, for like a good, like, few months, I was not losing any weight. I mean, it wasn't like my goal. It actually wasn't even my goal to lose the 5 pounds. I genuinely just started going to the gym. I was able to eat better just because I finally, like, started focusing more on myself. I actually had the time, instead of like getting up immediately, or no, what I would do is sometimes, like, on the weekends, you know, I would call it like treating myself, you know, whatever. I would like stay in bed and like watch Instagram for not 5 hours, like 2 hours, and then I'd get up. But now I don't do that. I actually got a HomePod. This thing's stupid sometimes. Like, I'll tell it, whatever. It sets my alarm, so, because my phone was my alarm. I don't like this dumbass alarm clocks. Because the alarm clocks either are too loud, I don't know how to work them, they're ugly, they have to be plugged into the wall, whatever. I mean, the HomePod does too, but whatever. And, like, the only other one that was cool was, like, the Hatch. No, it was not cool. Like, I wanted, like, a better one. Like, I didn't want some dinky-ass one, because I used to have an alarm clock that was dinky off Amazon. It was, like, $15. I got, like, the Hatch one is, like, the expensive one, like, the $200 alarm clock for sunlight. That is the most dystopian thing I've ever seen in my life. Fake sunlight alarm clock. No, I have a window, thank you. So the HomePod works because it's connected to everything, and Apple has all my freaking data, but, you know, I have all the Apple products, and it has my alarms, and it can text people, and it can call. Whenever I can't find my phone, I can tell it to find my phone, and it does it. So that's what I've been doing. I have my alarm. I literally left my phone in my car last night, and I didn't even know until this morning when I was leaving to go to the gym, and I didn't even know my phone was in my car, and I was looking for it so that I could turn. Well, I don't even know what I think I was just trying to check, like, the traffic at the gym, and it was in my car the entire night. I didn't know. That is how much it has affected me that I literally forgot my phone was in my car overnight. I used to watch Instagram before I went to bed. I used to watch Instagram when I woke up. I was always on my damn phone. I would sit on my ass and just watch Instagram. I actually got shit done. I deleted Instagram. I started going to work more. I literally used to work like 15-hour weeks. I now work 40. And I like it. So I'm making more money. I lost 5 pounds. I frequently go to the gym now. I eat better. I'm more focused on my health. I have clearer thoughts. I actually read books now. I always was a I read, but I would always pick my phone over books that I have on my bookshelf. I read my books now. Yeah. There's obviously things that I always struggle with, like I have ADHD. There's laundry that I just didn't start. Literally sitting right next to me, actually. There's things that sort of like quitting social media I can't fix, but I cannot believe how good my life was in the month that I didn't have social media. And after a good week, I actually realized I was like, I'm never going back. Never. Ever. I made so much progress and I just did so much better for myself this month than I think I've ever done. I've made more realizations or just observations or developments or whatever. I've made so much progress and just done so much better for myself in the last month. And I don't think I'll ever download social media back. I don't miss it. First week was hard. Even though I felt a lot better the first week. Especially like the first few days, I kept reaching for my phone and realizing there was nothing on there that I could click on. And obviously I could have re-downloaded it, but I was like, Cause how it started was me like really getting fed up. I was like trying to go to bed and I was like on Instagram. And I was on Instagram for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I was like, oh, I really need sleep. And I was like, I'm really tired of being on my phone. And I just deleted Instagram and I was like, let me see how long I can go. You'd be surprised if you just said, oh, let me see how long I can do this for. That's how I quit. That's how I lost 80 pounds. I'm not even fucking joking. I used to be severely obese. I used to be drinking Coca-Cola. I would never drink any water. And I didn't have Coca-Cola for one day. I think I forgot to drink. I didn't have anything to drink that one day. I just forgot to drink Coca-Cola that day. So I said, oh, well, let me just see how long I can go. I haven't had a full sugar drink in like 4 years. That was a lie. 2 years. 2 years. I didn't lie on purpose. My brain is fuzzy. 2 years. Just from saying, we'll see how long I can go. But yeah, I've been yapping long enough. Moral story, social media is evil! And learn to have a conversation, read books, learn things.